guys, hope you had a great week. I was at the trampoline park earlier this week with my kids and talking to another mom, as I usually do, and she said she sent her daughter to Emoji Art Camp. Emoji Art Camp. What is that? Well, apparently it's a camp that looks at how emojis are being used more than words to express emotion. And when you think about that, ain't that the truth, right? Just this week, we also learned the news that we are going to get 157 new emojis over the next several months, including a new redhead emoji. Thank goodness, I might add. We already have 2,000 emojis, though, so we're just adding more ways to use emojis to express our true thoughts and feelings. And that's pretty interesting. I've been thinking a lot about technology in relation to another big story this week, the biggest story of the week, in fact. And I'm sure you've seen it, the CDC releasing statistics on the rising rates of suicide in America. And here on the same week we get this news from the CDC, we learn of the suicides of Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain, two people that just last week you would never think that you would see headlines like this about them. Well, the CDC examined the years between 1999 and 2016. And that's when they saw suicide rates increase dramatically. And I just wanted to ask the question, what else happened in that time frame? And when you really think about it, a lot happened in that time frame, right? The tech bubble burst, 9/11, the war in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq, the housing crisis, the financial crisis, and the rise of the great technology of our current time, social media and texting, emojis, they all really appeared during the same time frame. And I'm not suggesting there's a direct connection. I just think we don't want to gloss over the context here, because I think there are more questions to ask. Because the question we all arrive at when we hear these terrible headlines about amazing, accomplished, magical people like Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain, the question is why? Why did they do it? And the CDC says there's no one reason. It's a bunch of different variables. But it got me thinking about another story we covered this week on Smarter News, and that's a new study out on education reform. So a completely different topic, but there's a tie-in here. The study had a simple aim. Catholic schools talk about better discipline, but do students in Catholic schools really have better discipline? Catholic schools, the Catholic Church, is the largest provider of private school education in America. So this is a big deal, right? Taking a look at Catholic school education. And so two professors from UC Santa Barbara, my alma mater, by the way, reviewed thousands and thousands of students and found some fascinating results. Students that attended Catholic schools were less disruptive, showed more self-control, and this is really important, regardless of demographics, so wealth or color of skin or region, they performed better. They showed better self-discipline. That last part is really important because it's a big topic of debate right now in education. Because as the study puts it, there's a differential suspension rate for minority and non-minority students. And so there's a question about whether or not we're disciplining students in the right way to actually get better results. So why do Catholic school students perform better? The authors say this: don't underestimate the power of religion to positively influence a child's behavior. And they went on to say that when a child knows that their teacher loves them, but God also loves them, a God that has unconditional love and also eternal love, does that help a student form a better idea of self-control and self-discipline? Because there's not only consequence, but unconditional love. And so the question I leave you with, is that religion or is that the role of faith? Is that the secret sauce that's absent from so many of our stories? Here at Smarter News, one of my missions is that we leave some room for that. I think we should talk more about faith. I think there's a lot of questions that come up related to big news stories about that. And I think we should explore it, and we can do that here. As we close out this week, if I had to send you an emoji, it would be a fist bump, one of those cute hearts, and of course a pair of sunglasses, because that's our logo here at Smarter News. See news differently with us. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you all next week.